won't
I'll
go
stop
Batista.
it. Stop me.
Even before the fight of the century took place, people were choosing sides. The match pitting Joe Frazer against Muhammad Ali, who, with the exception of one warm-up fight, was coming off a 3-year ban from the sport after boycotting the draft for the Vietnam War. The climate around race and politics mirrored the issues of today.
This was going to be a huge event, not just because it was a championship fight, but because it included all of these kind of sidelight things that were going on literally in the entire country.
At the time, Tim Ryan was a young news and sports broadcaster for WPIX. With just a few fights under his play-by-play belt, Ryan was asked to do the radio broadcast for New Zealand radio because they couldn't afford to send their own reporter.
I was stunned that was being offered to me, a chance to actually call the fight. And it turned out that I was the only English language radio broadcaster of the fight.
A few days later, when newspapers found out the fight was not being broadcast to military bases around the country, promoters asked Ryan if they could carry the broadcast.
So the general called the next morning and hired me. He said, "We haven't got any money." I said, "That's okay. I'm honored to do this for the Armed Forces Radio Network."
Ryan details the fight in his book, On Someone Else's Nickel, A Life in Television, Sports, and Travel. March 8, 1971. The night of the fight, Ryan says the Garden was filled to the rafters. More than 20,000 people packed the arena, wearing everything from blue jeans to black tie.
It was a very glamorous crowd, showbiz people, Sinatra, Diana Ross, and all kinds of famous people, like celebrities come to the big fights now. But I don't think any of them have been matched by the group that came that night to the Garden.
But once inside, Ryan says there was a palpable tension in the air.
The ones who were anti-Ali were going to be for Joe Frazer, whether or not they were boxing fans.
Frazer won the 15-round slugfest by decision, knocking Ali to the canvas in the final round. Ali would go on to win both rematches. And because of the trilogy, Ali got to bring his message of equal rights around the world. And Ryan said that has been the biggest lasting impact from this fight. When asked who his favorite athletes are of all time, he always mentions Ali and Billie Jean King for their work outside of their sports. That anniversary coming up again on Monday. Reporting live outside Madison Square Garden, Joe Masiri, Pix 11 News.